Good morning, everyone. Welcome to my SQL tutorial. So in the last video, we have discussed about the indexes in SQL. Link is in the description. If you haven't watched, please go through that video. So moving forward now, today we are going to discuss about temporary tables in SQL. So in this video, we'll see how to create a temporary table and types of temporary tables, followed by what is the use of these temporary tables. Okay. So So first of all, what do you mean by the temporary tables? So temporary tables are used to store intermediate results temporarily during the execution of a query or a session. Okay. So let's first understand the basic meaning. Okay. So I am using my SQL TV database. So first of all, according to this definition, what do you mean by a query or a session? Let's say let's first create a temporary table. Okay, so the syntax is quite similar: create table followed by the table name. So here for the temporary tables, the prefix is hash symbol followed by hash and then name. Let's say temp underscore employee. Okay, and as usual we have to mention the column name. So let's say id and name. Okay, so let's execute. So command completed successfully. So now let's say select start from. This is our table name, that is temporary table name, because we have used the prefix hash here. So as you can see here, so the temp underscore employee, which is a temporary table, is being created, as you can see, with the following column name, ID and name. So according to the definition, the query or session. So basically, this is nothing but one session, right? In this my in my Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio, I have created one session, as you can see here, day20.sql. This is my file here, right? File name. So this is nothing but my current session. Okay. So this particular table, temporary table, this is temp underscore employee, is accessible, or we can use this for this session only. Okay. Now, as soon as I close this session, okay, now I want to perform query, so I am creating a new session here. Okay, so again, if I am inside, I'm selecting database, and if I am writing the same query here, let's say select start from hash, our table name was, which we have created, was temp underscore employee. See, so that particular table, temporary table, is not visible here. It's automatically dropped because the last session was my current session. So it was accessible to the current session only. As soon as I close that session, the system, what the system did, it actually dropped that table because I have closed the session. So for this new session, so that particular table doesn't exist. As you can see here, it shows me invalid object name. Okay. So according to the definition, the temporary tables. Okay. So uh, I have created this particular table, temporary table, in the last session. So it was accessible and we can store the data, or we can do manipulation, any sort of things, only on that particular current session. Okay. So for the execution of the query or session. Okay. So this is the basic definition, like what is temporary tables. Okay. So moving forward now, let's talk about the types of temporary tables. Okay. We have local temporary tables. Its prefix is with hash. Okay. So as we saw now, we have created one table, right? This temp underscore employee. So that was the example of local temporary tables. Okay. Another one is the global temporary tables. Okay. Both the tables functions in similar way, just there is a slight difference. Okay, so let's see the difference. Okay, I mean, what is the difference between the local temporary tables and global temporary tables? Okay, so as you can see, the global temporary tables, we have to just we have to give the prefix as double hash instead of single hash for local. For global, we have to mention double hash symbol followed by the table name which we want to assign. I mean, give. So I am in this current session. So let's create one global table. Okay, create table double hash. Okay, temp underscore, let's say, student. Okay, so now ID, I want ID and F name, let's say, varchar of 10 characters. Okay, so let's create this. Command completed successfully. Now let's insert a record basically for better understanding. So query is exactly same query, just we have to, instead of mentioning the real object name, we have to mention the this table name with a hash. So insert into this table values, let's say 1 comma joy, let's say. Okay, okay, so now let's see if our table exists. So as you can see here, so this is nothing but the global temporary table. Now why global temporary table? Basically because, so now what I am going to do is I am going to create, so this is the current session, right? So the global temporary table is accessible in this session, and now I am just creating one another session. Okay, in this session I want to just run this same query, the select query, in another session. Okay, okay, this is SQL query 7 session. In this session, I have created the global temporary table, hash temp underscore student. So, and now in this SQL query 8.SQL, in this session, I want to just run the query. So, as you can see here, in in different sessions, the global temporary tables are accessible. Okay, but we saw the temporary table, local temporary table, which was as soon as I closed, okay, the current session, it was not accessible. Okay, but the global temporary table is accessible in the current session and in the next session as well. But now, okay, what if I want to close this SQL query 7.SQL, this session. Okay, okay, now I want to close this. I don't want to save this session, I want to close. Now I am again, and in this session, the last session, SQL query 8.SQL, in this session I am going to run this query again. So as you can see, invalid object name. Okay, so as soon as the last session ends, okay, though, so what happens, the table automatically drops the particular temporary table which is created. So I hope you guys are getting. So I hope you got the one of the basic and important difference between the local temporary tables and global temporary tables. Okay, your perspective are same, just with this difference. We have only one difference here. Okay, okay, if you have multiple sessions, so the global temporary tables are accessible as soon as of the last session, all the sessions are closed, it will not accessible, and the local temporary tables are accessible to the current session only. Okay, I hope you guys are getting. Let me know the comment section. So what is the use? Let's talk about. So of course, storing the temporary data, as we saw, we have created a table. Okay. So, and we can insert, we can do CRUD operations and all. Okay. Breaking down complex queries. So basically, if you have multiple queries involved, okay. So if you want to see how the data behaves basically. So for that particular perspective, you can use the temporary tables. Okay. Syntax is very much simple. Just you have to use hash symbol, okay, for local, double hash for global. Okay. Performance you can improve. Okay. So to provide the same result, okay, have we can write the queries in different ways. Okay. So, but what actually we want is we want the optimized query, okay, to improve the performance of the system. So, in order to check the performance wise different queries, so in order to test basically different types of queries, okay, we can use the temporary tables, okay. Session specific data, as we saw here, the basic difference between the temp underscore student, which is a global table, temporary table, and hash temp employee was the local temporary table. So how these two tables behaves based on the sessions. Okay, so it's a session specific data we can achieve. Sharing data across queries in the same session, and followed by the last point was, according to me, let me know if this last point is valid according to you or not. Let me know in the comment section to see how the data behaves based on the queries. Okay. So is this point relevant? Let me know in the comment section. So this was all about the basic meaning about the temporary tables. Okay. How we can create, how we can use the temporary tables, and what is the type of temporary tables we have discussed. Okay. So let me know in the comment section if you have any doubts. In the next video, we will discuss about the use of limit keyword in SQL. Okay. So I hope you guys are enjoying the SQL tutorial. Let me know in the comment section. Till then, thank you. Have a nice day.